Okay. Hello. Give me a second. I'm all discombobulated. Just as I sat down and pressed play, the doorbell rang. And now I'm like, oh, what was I doing? Where was I? What day is it? I don't know. Hello. Welcome to Witchy Wednesday. Oh, let me have a drink. It is just Coke. Doesn't have any rum in it. Yet. How are we all today? Hi, Becca. Do say hello if you've joined us in the chat. If you're having trouble with chat, go into the Facebook Witchy Wednesday group and ask in there, because there's other people have had issues and they've fixed it. So go in there and say, this is where I'm watching it on. So iPad, computer, phone, whatever, Kindle, and what browser you're using. So Chrome, Safari, hi Chloe, Firefox, Dolphin, whatever else it is you use. Put that, start a thread, try and keep it all together as tech issues. There will be somebody in there who has figured out how to get chat on the device and browser that you're using. So I used to be, back in my early days, when I taught in a college, and I was up on all the latest doodads and everything, I used to be a tech guru, and I could have answered all your questions about anything, or at least had a very good guess and possibly been right. But now I'm like, you know, I bought a new Kindle this week because I've got the original Kindle, which is like a brick. It's about this big, and it holds about 4 books. It's a marvellous little thing. But it has a stripe of invisibility down one side, where it's got gradually fainter and fainter, and now it's just a stripe of 1 inch. Hi, Ali. I got your name right. I usually call you Amy, don't I? Hi. Oh, is it Veterans Day in the US? Oh, of course it is, yeah. It's Remembrance Day here too. Although we tend to celebrate is the wrong word. Commemorate on the Sunday. So our Remembrance Sunday was last weekend. But yeah, 11/11 is Remembrance Day here too, but it's not a day off. Hi Burgess. How's NaNoWriMo treating you? I'm about, I would estimate, maybe 18,000 words in. I haven't done a recount since, I don't count every day. I start getting stressed out about how far behind I am if I do that. I like to wait until kind of random times in the middle of the week and go, oh look, I've done 13,000 words. What was I saying? Somebody interrupted me. Amy. Ali even. I don't remember what I was saying. I'm really discombobulated today. You know when you have a big lunch and you sit down afterwards and you look at your coffee and you think, that's not going to cut it. I need a nap. Well, I went for a nap. And I woke up an hour later. I didn't know who I was, where I was, what day it was, who the president was. I'm like, what is life? And I'm still on that track. I'm still like, is this real or am I imagining it? Anyway, yeah, and then I sat down to record and Amazon arrived, but I'm really pleased they arrived because you're gonna love this. So I got a couple of things to show you. Noises. Oh, it was a bit less flourishy than I expected. Oh, the Kindle, yeah. I bought a new Kindle, thank you. I bought a new Kindle because mine, like I say, stripe of invisibility down one side, which is not conducive to reading. But as you know, I read textbooks on the Kindle, but I don't like when I'm taking notes because I'm only reading. But if I'm listening to a novel or something, it's audiobook. So I wanted a device that does both, which is why I got the Kindle in the first place. Bought a new Kindle, and guess what? The 7th generation Kindle Touch doesn't have audio. They've just taken it off. It's like, oh yeah, here's this great little Kindle Touch. It does a few basic things, not much, but it does a few basic things. It's got a nice little reader on it. It's got a nice little audio output with obviously doofer-bugs for your ears if you want them. You know, it does some really nice. We've got an experimental little browser. You can go on Twitter and Facebook, but you can't really do anything else. And you can't really go on Facebook. You can just kind of tweet where you're up to or copy passages from your book. If it's to do with what you're reading, we'll let you do it. But otherwise, you know, you're pretty much disconnected from the world. Yeah, right? That was the original Kindle Touch. Whoever had that idea, fantastic. Hey, let's add a touch screen. And then along came their successor and went, yeah, it doesn't need audio. Half the usability of the Kindle Touch went out the window in one fell swoop. I assume because they're trying to push their new Fire, which is like a tablet basically. But you know what? I've already got a tablet. I didn't want a tablet. If I wanted to read on my tablet, I would be reading on my tablet because I've already got one. And it's better than the Fire. Oh, that one's... You can't see that one. That one's for Wednesday. So yeah, that went back and I ended up going on eBay and getting one second hand, but really, really good condition. It's obviously very well looked after and it's got 3G and it was still cheaper than the new one. So very pleased with that. Look what I've got. I was hoping this would arrive today so that I could show you because the people who turn up for Book of Shadows type Witchy Wednesday stuff tend to be darker inclined. The Art of Darkness, Crimson Peak. The design book. Stroke it. Stroke the book. Ooh! Sorry. It's embossed. Ooh! Oh, that's nice. Oh, I like it. I can feel the embossing through the plastic, so stroke the pretty book. We'll have a look at that in a minute. Let me switch you round. If you're going to ask questions, leave messages for me specifically or stuff like that, please put it in caps because I don't see it otherwise. You know what I'm like, I don't pay attention. It does, doesn't it? Hi, Deb. It does. Oh, that's not the right button. Let's not press that button. Almost cut you off then. Hang on. There we go. We're in focus. Let me see. Almost. I've discovered there's no point in doing the focus before I start on this overhead camera because the minute I swapped the face cam, it goes out of focus again. As soon as I come back, it's out of focus again. So you're going to have to deal with that, I'm afraid, because it doesn't have automatic focus. I hate automatic focus. I can't stand that. Oh, look, let's go fuzzy. Oh, no. In, out. No. Stop it. When I set a camera to focus, I want it to damn well stay there. Okay, let's get on. First off, let's show you this, because these are really cute. This is not really Witchy Wednesday, but I want to show you anyway. These are I'm looking around for something dark to put them on. Duh. I told you I'm not with it today. I'm having a day. You know, I said before when Scooby wakes up, he's like, all his fur's stuck up in different directions and he's got a glazed look in his eye and he's all discombobulated. That's how I feel right now. I got these from Ruth Lottie. It's all one word. I'll cover her email address, although it's a work email address. Ruth Lottie, all one word. She does beads. And I don't know her or anything. I just bought some beads off her, and they happened to arrive really quickly and really prettily packed, and she was very nice. I do like to give a shout out to people who do good customer service if they're running their own shops. I wanted to put some pretties in my new dreads, because you know me, I like my bling, don't I? I've got all my bracelets on. I went to see The Last Witch Hunter, and the girl in it had like bracelets all the way up her arms, and I'm like, damn, I love bracelets, I'm gonna have to dig all mine out, so I did. Yeah, these are dread beads, and look how cute. These are not like, I wanted something unusual. I wanted something that wasn't like everybody else has. Hi Penny. I didn't want what everybody else has, you know, the old wooden hippie beads. I'm not a hippie, I'm a goth. By the way, for those of you who buy jewellery and stuff and little bits and pieces from independent shop owners, you quite often get these little baggies. Hang on to them, because they make really good charm and spell sashes, especially the black ones. Little tip for you there. These are cute. So these have got little, will you be able to see that? I don't know. They got, oh, there we go. They've got little sparkly hearts on them. Of course, showing you up close on a camera that doesn't autofocus is a bit pointless, isn't it? So they got a little heart that way, and then they got a little heart that way, and then they got a little heart that way. They got hearts facing all four directions. So I got 4 of those because they came in a set. They're all the same. And then I got 2 of these. Look at this. How pretty is this? Look. Can you see the sparkle on it? The pattern on it is like, you know, the washable filters in those upright hoovers. It looks like one of those, but it's in a spiral, and as it twists, it catches the light. Isn't that pretty? I love that. And then I got this one, which is much heavier and thicker. These are only very thin ones. Oh, that hole might actually be a bit too big for my dreads. Oh no, maybe not. This one is absolutely gorgeous. It's got a random design on it that's like hearts and flags. It's got like a line with like zigzag triangles, and then a heart, and then a scrolly heart, and then another line with zigzag triangles. It's really pretty. Obviously you're not going to be able to see the full effect, but again it catches the light. It's really sparkly. I do like my sparkles. So yeah, I thought I'd show you those. Let me put them all back in here before I lose them. And that's from an eBay shop actually called Ruth Lottie. Because I've got skinny dreads, I needed very thin diameter holes. So I went searching and that was the one that came up. And she's really lovely. She was ever so nice to me. So there's that. Another purchase. I got this ages ago from AliExpress. Wasn't very expensive. It's a little A6 notebook. Came in this lovely little box. Really pretty. So if you're looking for a nice Christmas present, just the fact that it's in a nice box makes it a nice Christmas present. Obviously it had a plastic thing over the top, but I've taken that off to get rid of the glare. And inside, well, it's got a metal cover to start with. Nice big thick chunky metal cover. It's stitch bound with tape along the back. So it's got, yeah, it's Coptic stitch bound. So it's got the vertical stitching, and then it's got this, oh, that's who's made it. It's the Ecaland Stationery Company. ecaland.com.cn. So it's Chinese made. Anyone else got fireworks celebrating Diwali? We just had those last week. Over the weekend, it was a nightmare. I was sat in the house and I had to go and text my neighbour and say, you better turn your TV up because you're not going to hear anything for the next 3 hours. I've got to put the music on because the dogs are terrified of the fireworks. They were all around us, like everywhere. Even Scooby was getting nervous because obviously it was all around. Miss Maddie was beside herself. She didn't know what to do. But fortunately, there was a lot on Saturday because of Bonfire Night. That was the organised display. And then there was a lot on Sunday because we have a very high ethnic population around here. So Diwali is quite a big festival. Ramadan and Diwali are the two that everybody, don't ever try and get a taxi around here on Ramadan. It doesn't happen. So yeah, there were another firework display for that. And then Monday there was another one out the back here. But since then, touch wood, nothing. So hopefully they've shut up now until New Year's Eve. Yeah, this says on the front all about the stars. Good friends are like stars. They know you know they're always there. Isn't that sweet? But yeah, it's got a really pretty cover, galaxy cover. It's got the same quote on the back. It's got like these. It's got a really pretty painted galaxy cover, but then it's got like these little doodle stars on, which I like the contrast to that. But look at the inside. Isn't this pretty? Look at this paper. This is what caught my eye. Miss Vicky B enabled me with this one because I was looking at them and thinking, oh, shall I get one? Because it's really pretty. But I don't really need another notebook, but it's really pretty. Oh, and it's really cheap, but it's really pretty, but I don't need one. And then Miss Vicky B went, oh, have you seen these? And I'm like, yeah, I'm just putting one in my cart. So, yeah, it's really pretty. It's got a burr on the edge there. It's obviously not been cut quite straight. I'm going to need to file that down. If you get that on a book where it's just not quite caught the cutting edge properly, just get a nail file, hold this page taut and get a nail file and just flick it across the edges and it'll just take the edge off enough that you'll be able to get the pages apart without tearing them. So, yeah, look at that. I was going to use this. I don't dream very often. But when I do dream, I remember everything in great detail. So I thought I would start keeping a dream diary because I don't know if it's to do with the medication I'm on now, but I have started dreaming more. And by that I mean I used to dream maybe once every 5 years, and now I actually do dream occasionally. So I thought I'd start keeping a record. Because I can, and this is a really cute little notebook to do it in, isn't it? So there's that. That was from AliExpress. It wasn't very expensive, and they do A5 ones, so they do a bigger one as well. So if you wanted, you know, if you're not very artistic and you're really at that stage where you want a book of shadows that looks pretty and you want to write in it because you've got quite nice handwriting, and maybe stick some bits in, but you really don't want to decorate and draw and stuff, then, you know, this is really pretty, isn't it? Wouldn't this make a lovely little book of shadows? And they, like I say, they do a bigger one. Doesn't say how many pages it is, but it's quite chunky, so I'd say maybe 200 pages, 190. You dream every day, you just can't remember it. I would dispute that. When somebody monitors my sleep and proves to me that I actually do dream, I'll believe them. Hi, Jilly. Because honestly, up until about 3 weeks ago when I changed my meds, which is why I think it might be linked to my meds, I didn't remember having a dream for about 5 years. And I could literally count the number of dreams I remember having ever on one hand. Because usually you know you dreamt something, but you don't know what, or you don't remember, or whatever. It's not like I wake up and I'm like, oh yeah, I had a dream last night, but I don't remember what it was. You know, I never get that feeling of, oh, I was dreaming something then, and now it's gone. It's gone. It's going. No, I don't remember what it was. I never get that, ever. It's like I either wake up and I'm like, it's like a vivid memory that I straight away I know exactly what it was and everything, and it doesn't fade. Or like it doesn't fade immediately. I mean, obviously over time I forget, but it doesn't like. People say when you dream, you start getting that kind of, the more you try and chase after it, the more it becomes intangible. And I have had that kind of once, but it was only like a part of the dream where the more I tried to remember it, the less I could remember. But it was only like a snippet. But I usually wake up and it's like a vivid memory and I can tell you exactly what happened. And they're long as well. It's like telling a story, a really long story. Four nights of fireworks. You're lucky, Emma. We had 2 weeks of it. From the week before Halloween right the way through until Sunday. Yeah. We all have our rapid eye movement. Yeah. Unfortunately, Chloe, you only hit rapid eye movement if you're asleep for 3.5 to 4 hours, and I don't sleep for that long at a time. Never have. Even when I was a kid, I never slept for more than an hour and a half at a time. That's why I have so many naps. I'm a napper. I don't. If I go to bed and I sleep, then like proper sleep, and I count proper sleep more than 4 hours because that's a sleep cycle, isn't it? 4 hours, 12 minutes or something. A full sleep cycle. I'm either coming down with something or it's because I'm mentally exhausted. Like after doing 6 days of accounts, which, you know, me and maths are not friends. After 6 days of doing accounts for 8.5 hours a day, I was so mentally exhausted, I slept for a whopping 6 hours. Hi, Janet. But the rest of the time I don't sleep. I'm not an insomniac, I just don't need a lot of sleep. It's not like I lie awake going, oh, I wish I could sleep, I'm so tired. You know, to me that's insomnia. No, I'm not. I'm not an insomniac, I just don't need a lot of sleep. Never have. This little book, I told you about this before. Sorry, for those of you watching the recording, people keep asking me questions in chat. It's always like this for the first half an hour of a show. And then it settles down, which is why I always do something like this rather than actually the topic of the show, because it just kind of breaks everybody in. I do like the format that Dee Dee and a lot of others do over on Ustream, where they'll have like half an hour's pre-show chat, where they get all this kind of stuff out of the way and it is just chat, and then they go into like everything else and they break it up. But you can't do that on YouTube. You'd be messing about every 5 minutes. So yeah, unfortunately, you get all this. Just skip to the end. Hi, Emily. Yeah, I was tearing my hair out, let alone the dogs. I showed you this before. This is the Moleskine address book. It comes with the if you get the 12 or 18 month diaries from Moleskine, they come with these little address books in the back, or they used to anyway. I don't know if they still do. This is like, God, I think this is from 2008 or something. But I never used it because I don't keep addresses in an address book. Who keeps addresses in an address book anymore? Hi, Joe. Everybody keeps addresses on their phone or on the computer, don't they? Or when I need one, I put it in my notebook, you know. So what I'm doing with this, it's an A to Z, and it's just a little one. It's like, that would be A, and that would be B, and that would be C, and that would be D. It's like one page. And it's just enough, I think, because of my little writing. I can fit 2 columns in here. For my herbal. I'm calling it my herbal just to kind of split it up from my book of shadows. Hi, Protege. This is my herbal. So this one is herbs, incense recipes, crystals, and tinctures and potions. Not spells, just tinctures and potions. Let me just move this forward. That's better. I felt like I was kind of out here. This is going to be like face masks or oils or perfumes or anything like that. That kind of stuff, as opposed to spells or healing or anything like that. Something like that I would probably put in my book of shadows, because that would be stuff that I would definitely want to refer back to immediately at some point. Hi, Messi. I had a really long dream in 10 minutes. That's so weird. You must have hit the space-time continuum. Sorry, I'm just having a drink. Got a very dry throat today. Yeah, so this little book, I'm trying to think how best to explain this. This is 2 books in one. It's like one inside the other, because this book is thinner. It's really, really thin. That's half the book. Tiny little thing. This is a field notes that, I think it was Linda sent me, and it's beautiful. It's got like gold edging. It's really pretty, and it's a week on 2. It's 2 weeks on a page, so it's 1 week there and 1 week there. And I'm going to use this for my. I'm doing one of those year and a day books. I'm not Wiccan, but I thought it would be a good way of reading through stuff with some kind of purpose. So I thought I would put my prompts in here, and perhaps put a page note for, you know, what I'm probably. Oh God, I'm all over the place today. Sorry, I'm trying to get my words out. At least I'm not stuttering. That's usually what happens when my brain does this. I've got another one of these books with lines in. So not the plain one, but the lined one that I'm using for my herbs. And I'm going to do my year and a day in that. I'm going to number the pages, and I will put it in here and then put a number for what page it's on, so that I know where to find everything when I want to refer back to it. I just thought that would be a good idea, because I can't stand not having an index. So this will be an index that will tell me what's on each page. And then this one is basically the same, but it's for this book, which is at the front. I've got my herbs, and I've written my herbs because I'm a lefty, so I like to flip like that and be able to see what's in there, you see. So I put my herbs down here, and I'm going to colour code them for, I haven't decided exactly which things I want, but I think I'm going to put herbs, spices, roots. Yeah, herbs, spices and roots. Because to me, a herb is a leafy type, like rosemary, thyme, basil, that kind of stuff. Or, you know, ash leaves or something like that. Even though it's a tree, I count it as a herb because it's a plant. spices are dried or powdered or something like that. So cinnamon, cardamom, turmeric, that kind of thing. Even though a lot of them come from plants, I would still count it as a spice because it's dried. And then roots would be things like, some plants you can use the top and the root, like yarrow, you can use the top and the root. So I might put yarrow as the leaf because that's the top of the plant, which is edible. And then you can also use the roots, but they're not edible. So I might have yarrow root as a separate entry because I don't want to get the two confused. And then anything, I haven't done this yet. This is part of what we're going to do today. I'm going to put a section in here at the back that's going to be for dark stuff. I'm calling it dark stuff because I've got some crystals and personal things that I want to put in there as well. It's not just going to be poisonous plants, but you know, things that have magical properties or even health properties, like belladonna. Belladonna is an extremely useful sedative. When nothing else works, belladonna tea is a fantastic sedative, but you have to be so careful with it because if it's not prepared right, or you've got even a smidge too much, it's poisonous, seriously poisonous. Foxgloves are often used in potions for various things, but you have to handle them with gloves and you can't touch them, you can't ingest them because they're extremely poisonous. And also, there's some herbs and things that, like dried lily petals. Dried lily petals are very useful in prosperity spells and things, but they are poisonous to animals. So stuff like that will go in the back. And anything that I need to keep away from my dogs. Stuff, not because they'll read my Book of Shadows, obviously. You can just, maybe that's why my glasses were under Maddie's dog bed. She's been nicking my Book of Shadows and I'm going to read through. Anything that, you know, I have to keep on a shelf, you know, it's harmful to dogs or children or whatever, will go in this back section. And also darker crystals and stuff. So this is what I've been doing. I get these magazines, obviously, which have, sometimes they have really nice things in them, really nice cutouts, really nice, and I don't want to be too precious with this. I don't want to spend hours and hours and hours and hours drawing stuff in here, okay? I want something that will show me what a patchouli leaf looks like. So I've got things like this, where it's just a little, it was just a little list on one side of a page, where it had a list of different herbs. So any of the herbs that I use or I have, I pulled those out. And I stuck them on the pages. And any that I don't have the herbs for, but I think I might have them at a later date, like caraway seeds. I quite often have caraway seeds in the house because I like to eat them. But I don't have any at the moment. So I've put those, I've got those in this little thing. Because they're only tiny little bits and pieces. And I'll, you know, as I put pages in, I'll put those in. Or I might just have like aloe. I'm not a big lover of aloe. I mean, it's lovely. It's great for your skin and everything, but I don't like the smell. It makes me feel a bit queasy. I can't use sage. It's a flowering mint. I don't use sage for anything. But, you know, sage is like the herb. So I need to know its magical properties so that anything that says this is where we're using sage, I can look it up and say, okay, this is why they're using sage, so I need something that will do this and have the same effect. So like if you're smudging, you want, most people use a sage stick. Well, I wouldn't smudge with sage. We talked about that last week. Was it last week? Yeah, the Halloween show. We were talking about silent suppers and smudging with sage versus smudging with yarrow. I use yarrow. Sage is like the go-to if you're going to cleanse. So I need to know, because it's so commonly used, I need to know all its properties, what it does, why, and everything else. So I will need a page on sage, even though I don't have it. So I might have to put a few of those on different pages, because I could probably cover sage in like half a page because I don't use it. So all of these herbs I've got in here I actually use. So I've got not only the book thing of them, you know, use this for like sage, protection, wisdom, healing and prosperity, blah blah blah. I've also got personal insights that I've used it for. And obviously certain things that I will put in like can be used as a supplement for this or that or the other. So yeah, I've got a few in here now. I was just going through my magazines, getting rid of any that I didn't need anymore, and I thought, oh, I'll have a look. There's chamomile. Some of them I've started writing bits in because I've got like elderflower. I love elderflower. Elderflower cordial is beautiful, and I'm just writing it in snippets like this. The most I've done, I started at the front with the first herb in the book, which is yarrow. So this is like an ongoing page. None of these pages are going to be finished pages, okay? I don't intend for any of my books to have a finished page where I say, right, that's my page on whatever. If I run out of space on this side, then this will become yarrow 1, and I will put a little curly telling you what page it goes to, and I'll start another page back here and go, oh, where's the next page? Here we go. And I'll do yarrow 2, you know. I'm not trying to be precious about it. That's why I've got this index. Because if I go here and I'm like, big chunky book, lots of herbs and things, oh my goodness, where is everything? I need to look up yarrow. Where is it? I go to Y, go in here, yarrow, reference book 1, page 1. There we go. And I can just write on here like it's spread over onto page 2. So I can just put in here, it's got R1, R2. Yeah? And I've done that for all my... I haven't numbered the crystals yet, which is why there's no numbers next to the crystals. But I've written them in, all the ones that I've got. And I've written in all my herbs, and I've numbered those. So in here, you know, if I'm looking for pennyroyal, R19. R is just the reference book as opposed to my book of shadows. Page 19, pennyroyal. Okay, so that's how it's going to work. Sorry, I missed that, Burgess. I'm also doing the Year and a Day studies, the Roderick book. Timothy Roderick, yeah, that's the one I'm using. But I'm also doing it with the Family Wicker. Oh, the Blue Buckland book, yeah. That's supposed to be a really good one for Wiccans, because it goes through all the rituals and stuff. I don't need any of that stuff, you see, so that's why I went with the Roderick book, because it's more about research and history and, you know, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that's my herbs section, and I've started... This is part of what I'm going to do today. I've started putting, I had a whole page full of these kind of things. And it was a complete 2-page spread. I thought, I'm not wasting that. So I'm using this as my front pages. So this will say, you know, herbs. I need some more. I need some more bookmarks. That's another thing I need to do. Oh, where have you gone? There we go. That's the one for incense. And yes, I stuck it upside down in the book, but that doesn't matter. That gave me the idea for what we're going to do in a minute. You're going to need some scrapbook paper if you want to join me. So that's my incense section. I don't really blend my own incense, but I've got a few different incenses that I like. So like I've got Samhain incense, but Samhain incense is probably not going to take up more than half a page. So probably I'll just use that bit for Samhain incense, and then at the top here I'll write another one. So I've got quite a few I can fit in there. I don't have a lot of blended incenses that I use. And I've also put my soaps in there. because Terry sends us soaps in the pagan parcels and anointing oil and things like that. Then I've got my potions and salves and tinctures. And again, beautiful picture. This is all the same picture. It was just like, you know, like that was on there. So I kept that bit. And then there was another bit here, and then there's another page here. It was beautiful. And I thought, I'm keeping that. So these are going to be front pages for each section. Because although I'm not big on sections in my Book of Shadows, obviously I do need to keep my... It's more sensible to keep my herbs, my spells, my herbs, my crystals, my potions, that kind of thing, separate. Just because it's easy to find them. So then I've got crystals. There's another one, I just found it in one of my magazines and I thought that'll do as a crystals. And then, like this was one of the pages that I kept because normally if I was putting this in my Book of Shadows, I would have redrawn this and written it out in my own words. But, you know, why do that when this was here? I just cut it up and, like, these weren't on there. This was like a whole separate, this was part of the 2-page spread, and then the recipes were down the sides. So I cut the recipes out, got rid of all the white space and rearranged them on the page. And I think it looks really nice. I like that as part of my reference book, to have a combination of my own writing and bits I've clipped out. And, you know, as this gets used and aged, that'll be really cool. So I'm getting a lot of aesthetics out of my book without actually doing a lot and putting a lot of energy into it. I'm sure some of you might think that all this fancy writing is putting a lot of energy in, but honestly, it's really not. I didn't sit and do this page all in one go. I was doing various bits and pieces, and as I came across something, I thought, oh, I'll write that in. And I just picked up a pen and went for it. So I've got like Psychic Tea, has yarrow root in it. Ooh, that's on the wrong page. Let me make a note of that. And then if I do something wrong, like I might have to cross that out because I was going to put yarrow root on a separate page, I can just find something to stick over there. I can just cross it out and just stick something over it later, like this, when I find something that fits. Then I've got my crystals at the back. I haven't really done anything with those. I've got a couple of bits and pieces. This was really interesting, so I kept it. I've put a picture of the crystal there. Just as and when I found one. Again, this was a quick reference guide, like the herb one. Quartz. I've actually got some lapis lazuli somewhere, but I can't find it. But I've got a one here that's got lapis on it. So, who has time to sit and draw a crystal? Seriously, I mean, if you're working in your Book of Shadows, by all means, sit and draw a crystal properly. But this is just a reference guide. I don't want to be messing with that when I can be putting the energy into my Book of Shadows. So a couple of little meditation type things here that I've rescued from a magazine. Where's my amethyst page gone now? And I'll just put them in here like this, and you know, that I would probably rewrite in my own words or make notes on. This I might cut out that bit. You know, it just depends. Just depends. Nikki! Nikki's awake! Oh my goodness, what? It must be like 4 AM over there, Nikki. Are you crazy? Palo Santo. I've never heard of that. Oh, okay. Palo Santo for sage. And that was Mete. Thank you. See, this one I can just chuck things in, and it doesn't matter if it's got bits and pieces that are loose. I can deal with them later. So that's my reference book. And the reason I took my herbs and my crystals out is because those are the biggest two. Oh, it's only 6 AM. Oh, that's okay then. Those are the two biggest reference sections I have, because I'm big into herbs and I'm big into crystals. I don't want to be filling up my book of shadows with yards and yards and yards and pages of crystals, because a lot of people, when they're doing a book of shadows, will they'll just they'll tend to copy out of books at first, and they'll just have like a list of definitions, like this is for this, this is for that, that is for that. But as you work with crystals and herbs, you'll get your own personal tweaks on them, and you'll get your own ways of working with them, and you'll say, well, directing energy, directing energy, every book shadow, every reference book tells you if you're directing energy, you use an athame. Well, what if an athame doesn't work for you? What if your wand works better? I use a wand for directing. Actually, I use a crystal quartz. Hang on. There he is. It's my big old crystal quartz that I use for directing energy. It's not my proper wand. I've got a proper wand, but I use this for directing energy if I'm working with crystals. He needs a clean. So, you have to be able to make your own notes and change things and do your own research, and I like doing that. I like having ongoing things. So, let's show you this. Because I'm dying to open it. I'm sorry. I'm dying to open it. It's got to happen, hasn't it? This is the design book for Crimson Peak, the film. And there is a novel out, apparently, the novel of the film, and there is also a graphic novel coming out. Can't wait for the graphic novel. Oh, that'll be good. Where's my bin? There we go. So let's have a look at this baby. It's embossed, and this is shiny, and this is satin, and this is not. Oh, it's really nice. I like this. Very touchy-feely. I'm just going to have a quick flick through because I can't wait. Ooh. Oh, I love that sound. Lovely new glossy book. Ooh, very nice. Ooh. This is black with silver writing. Sorry, can you see it? It's got a bit of glare there. I'm not going to go through the whole book. Ooh! I'm not going to go through the whole book. Look at that! Very nice. Very nice. I'm just going to do a quick flick. We haven't got time to sit and go through this. You finally got around to seeing the film. Oh, I love it. It's already on my Christmas list for. Ooh, it's already on my Christmas list for. I must have this in the deluxe double disc collector's edition with the poster version. Oh, I like this. It's got. Oh, this is cool. It's a shame that's stuck to there. How do you get it off to read it? Oh, it's only tacked in. It's just like tacked in with like a little bit of... It's just to keep it in the book. It's like washi tape tack. Oh, okay, here we go. Palo Santo is a fragrance tree from South America. Its name means holy wood, and its branches are collected after they naturally fall to the ground. You burn it in the same way as sage, and it goes a long way. Woo! I'm going to take a photo of that so I can write that in my book. Come on. There we go. Now, see, that's the kind of thing, I don't have any, but at some point I might think, oh, I could get some of that. So that's the kind of thing I might make notes on the Sage page. Say, well, you can use this instead. And this is where I learned that from. This is very cool. Got all these character design bits. Sorry, the pages are a little bit shiny, it's hard to show you. It's got all the original character designs with all the notes and things. Oh, that's my evenings of reading. Gorgeous. It's even got his business card. All the attention to detail that goes into a movie where they think, well, what was his business card look like? I've got a close-up of the book there about the Allerdale Hall. So much detail, even the little doll's house. Oh, this is so good. Ooh, kind of sharp. Oh, look at this. Oh, this is amazing. This is like this is the letter that he left. Copy of the letter he left. Isn't this fabulous? Oh, I'm going to be spending a lot of time with this later. The death moth. Her ring. Oh, it's a bit like mine, look. Now, I saw that, if you need to find the culprit, follow the colour red. I saw that in the, before I saw the film. Hi, Lotus. Before I went to see the film, I read an interview with Guillermo del Toro, who said that the red was the whole colour to do with the ghosts and Crimson Peak. Everything and everybody to do with the ghosts has red. And it's very interesting throughout the film to note the people who always have red, like Lucille wears the ruby ring, she always has red. If you look at, what's her name? The other girl. Edith? Yeah, Edith. She has no red whatsoever until she gets to Crimson Peak, and then she gets more and more and more and more and more. Other people in the film don't wear any red at all, and he said that red doesn't appear anywhere in the film other than at Crimson Peak and around the ghosts and the people who are to do with the ghosts. Hi, Risha. But it was just as interesting for me to note who didn't have the red. And I can't tell you what I noticed because that would be a massive spoiler, wouldn't it? This is beautiful. This is like an etching almost. It's silver etching. Yeah, I'm going to be spending some time with this. tonight, having a good old look around. They've even got floor plans of the house. The architecture, the murals. Isn't it beautiful? This is almost as good as the film. It'll keep me going till the DVD comes out anyway. See, the ghosts are red. And not very pretty. You don't see them that close up in the film, for anybody who... Where did I get the book? Amazon. I get everything on Amazon or eBay. If it's not Amazon or eBay, I bought it from a little Etsy shop somewhere or something. What a peculiar little illustration to have in the back. Is that them as children? Before Crimson Peak, maybe? Ooh. Envelope in the back. Yeah, I don't want to give spoilers. I don't like giving spoilers. Everybody knows it's a ghost story, so saying the ghosts isn't a big spoiler. Oh, it glows in the dark. No! How awesome is this? Oh, I'm going to have to get a frame for this one. Oh, yeah. Fantastic. Oh, I'm really pleased with that. So this is Crimson Peak, The Art of Darkness. It's the art and design book for the film Crimson Peak. And like I said, I thought I'd show it today because I know a lot of you were into darker, gothy type stuff like me. So there you go, that's that. And finally we get round to what we're actually here for. Oh, I found these as well. I've got another one of these coming, the Halloween set. These are... Now, I'm not a big Tim Holtz fan. Okay, I'm not a big... Oh, yes, everything Tim Holtz is wonderful. But I did come across these and I thought these were rather pretty. For something where you're doing a spell that involves nature or, you know, birds, butterflies, herbs, perhaps a step-by-step, it's got figure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, you know, perhaps a series of steps. I thought these were rather beautiful. They're rub-ons. So yeah, they're from the Ideology set from, this is Botanical, and I've also got Time, which has got clocks and things, because I quite like clocks and things for decoration. And I've also got Halloween, which is the one with the witches' hats and black cats and things like that. Yes, Foxy, I got you one. See, 2. So, this is my book Shadows. I haven't done an awful lot in it because I've been working on my herb book. So I don't think I've got anything here that you didn't see last week. It's my Samhain page. This side is virtually finished now. I've just got to do a few bits on this page. So not quite finished yet. I've been really busy this week with class stuff. My bookmarks I made from some packaging. Just really liked the design on them. So the next thing is I'm going to get my little box. I have a big one. It's not a little box, it's a big box. I've got a big box of tricks down here. That basket is what I'm going to put everything in, but for now I'm just going to put it on the desk because I have various bits and pieces I want to use today. Oh, there's another set of rub-ons. This is the old time set, I think. This is the same. See, it's the same series. They're all very similar. I mean, obviously the bingo one I probably won't use, but I can put that in my journal. But, you know, these, I'll probably use those for various things. palmistry thing. I've got some really nice fibres and stuff. Some antique looking type washi tape. This is from the Do Crafts Paper Mania, the Madame Perrault series. I've also got the paper that goes with that, just the little one. I thought it'd be useful for, you know, just doing odd bits and pieces of decoration. Got the postcards, because sometimes you want to put things in that you don't necessarily want the whole thing showing, so you could put the postcard in with a bit of washi tape and then you can turn the postcard over and see the rest of the information. So those are, oh, vintage labels, it says. They're just like little Project Life cards almost. And you could use Project Life cards if you wanted to, you know, there's nothing stopping you doing that, but little ones. I thought it'd be nice not to have everything completely the same, but just kind of running through the book to have various bits and pieces that are cohesive, if that makes sense. I have various different bits and pieces here, bits and bobs, like little label covers and stuff like that that I may use at some point. I've got my, I wish the whole notebook had this design on it, but it just has a like a little watch and beetle type design. But it has things to do. You can always cut that off and, you know, do a spell list or whatever if you need to. Ingredients lists, that kind of thing. I salvaged this from a card because I thought if I wanted to do like a picture, rather than just doing a picture, a square picture, I could do like an oval and draw in the oval. So like here, I want to do a picture of Granny Weatherwax, obviously. So I could do it like a cameo almost. Hey Ingvill. What else have we got? That's too thick, unfortunately. Talking to myself, hang on. Bits of shinies and bits and bobs, crystals and things. Got some tiny little gemstone bits. These are chips, so they're like amethyst and citrine and moss agate, quartz, copper. Tiger's eye, pearl, hematite, peridot. Yeah, I've just got all sorts of bits and pieces in there. These little chips and things that I can use to decorate other pillows. What else have I got? Oh, I've got another one of these. These are the memory pockets. Again, these are good for like if you write a spell where you need to put it, quite often they'll say write the spell and fold the paper up and put it away somewhere, put it in a box or something. Well, these are very good for that. So you could actually put it on the page and they fold down like that, and you can, so you could stick that bit to the page and then, or perhaps if you have a particular ingredient. You could put a little sachet of herbs in there or something. Thought that would be cool. All different. Again, this is the same series. This is the Madame Perrault. I'm hungry. My stomach's rumbling. Is the Samain picture done? No, it's half done. That side is mostly finished. This side I haven't done yet because it's glass. These bits are all glass, and I need to do it in daylight, and I keep forgetting to do it in daylight. So this might take a while to finish, but it's literally only those bits that need finishing now, and then the table and stuff. So it's coming along. And I was going to do, I haven't done any more pages after that. I've got bits and pieces put aside that I want to put in here, but I don't want to put stuff on here and stick it down until I've finished this page, because I'll be drawing on rough surface. But then I got my new Hobonichi, and with it I ordered one of these Shitajiki boards. Which are for having a flat surface in your book. So yeah, can use that in there now. So as long as I don't stick anything on that side of the page yet, I can now finish this without worrying about what I've got stuck on other pages. So I can do that now. I'm running out of one sides to put things on. I'm going to have a crafter lunch in a minute. I've got these. These are sparkly. I love sparkles. Sparkles are pretty. Got some rose petals. Oh, there's my Egyptian incense. I was looking for that. Smells lovely. Some more pretty papers, sparkly papers that I thought would be nice to use for. You've got silver sparkles on them. Sorry, the light's blowing it out, isn't it? I think that's most of the stuff that I definitely know I want to use in my book of shadows. I've got some bits and pieces of tissue paper that I've got little silver designs on. I don't know if you can see that. So that's the kind of thing I've collected to use in my book of shadows. Thing full of little bits of paper and stuff that I can use. And then I've also got, oh, that's why I got that. See, this is why I got the basket out. Maddie is curled up around my feet snoring, and Scooby is curled up on the sofa looking at me like, what the bloody hell are you doing, Mum? There we go. That's why I got that basket out. And then this is stuff that Linda sent me. This is Tomo River paper, which is the very, very thin, like the Hobonichi paper, which I'm going to keep some of it for using in my book of shadows, because if you want to add paper to it, it's extremely thin paper. For those of you who haven't seen it. Uber thin, but it takes fountain pen and everything really well. So if I need to add extra pages in to something for any reason, then this will be very useful for that. And at the back here, she sent me some really nice papers. What we are going to use for various stuff. I haven't even gone through all of this yet. She sent me so much stuff, bless her. So sweet of you, Linda. More bits. There we go. I think that's all of it. Oh, ow. Need a bit more drink. Hang on. Right. So, let's have a look. There. Bits of hair everywhere. What the devil is going on? Oh, it's caught on my ring. There we go. These look like little tag things. Oh, Halloween tag, look. It's good already. Oh, that's got multiple pockets in a little baggie. How peculiar. I've never seen that before. This appeals to my inner child, you see. Spiders and bats and witches' hats and things. It's got the regular baggie there, and then it's got a little pocket in the back. That's useful. So we've got, that was a little spider, and a little potion bottle, and a witch's hat, a bird with a song thing type stuff, candelabras, Frankenstein, or Frankenstein's monster. I don't think he'll make it into my Book of Shadows, but you never know. He's more likely to make it into my journal, but Happy Halloween! Ooh. Poe's Vineyard, Spirits of the Dead. Fine Wine, number 27. Isn't that cool? That's pretty. Little robin. That'd be nice for a Yule page, obviously. Pop that in there. So pop that in my little box. Sorry, I've only just realised there were all these little bits in there. I knew there was scrapbook paper, which is what I needed, but I didn't realise there was all this as well. Ah, coffee cup! That's really cool. So these are stickers. Stickers or die cuts? Die cuts, maybe. Useful. Anyway, these are cute. Look at all these unusual designs. These are perfect for a Book of Shadows. I really like that design there. That I might have to learn to doodle that design, so I can use it on more than one page. Isn't that pretty? Same again. Oh, that's nice. What's on the back of this one? That's green. Ooh. Bugs. Isn't this awesome? Graveyards. Gravestones, rather. Skulls. Kitty cats. That's beautiful, isn't it? A lovely design. Pumpkins. Little witch. Best witches. Ah, See, that's the kind of thing that really appeals to me. Best witches. Oh, she wrote me a little note. This is what happens when I don't actually get time to go through everything bit by bit. I don't realise that people have written me little notes and things. I'll keep that for later. Oh, a little tag with a ghostie on it. We'll get something done in a minute, I swear. I didn't honestly realise that all that was in there. I did know that this was in here. When pigs fly. Graphic 45s these are. But look at that, the little honeycombs with bees. I don't know if that'll pick up on camera, but there's little bees in those circles and little honeycombs. It's really pretty. Ooh! Oh, this is the old Curiosity Shop collection. Isn't that lovely? You're enjoying seeing all the pretty pieces? Oh, that's okay then. As long as you're not bored and thinking, oh my god, when's she going to get on to the what we were going to do originally. Isn't this cool? So there's those, and then those are 8 by 8, I think. The original ones were 12 by 12, were 6 by 6. These are 8 by 8. These are 5 by 7, I think. These are 12 by 12. That's pretty. Look at that. Oh, that's gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Wow. Beautiful. No, it's got sparklies on it, look. All of these have got metallic sparklies. I don't know if you can see them, but my mind's eye. Creepy crawlers. Oh! Ah, these little spiders, aren't they cute? I would so use that in my Book of Shadows. I'm sorry, but I would. Crazy Halloween print. Oh, that's a bit busy. Red dots. Crazy owls. Spiders' webs. This is from My Mind's Eye Boo to You Fright Night papers. That's pretty. Black and white designs. Spooky bingo. Ooh, that's making my eyes go funny. Stripes and things make my eyes go a bit weird. Oh, that's nice. I like that one. Put that to one side. That's really pretty as well. These are 7 Gypsies. Oh, this is Meadowlark. Karina Gardner, Meadowlark papers. Dawn. My Mind's Eye again. 7 Gypsies. Oh, that's nice. Vintage Moon collection. Pink Paisley. Spider's Web. Scoob! Stop licking. Aren't these gorgeous? Wow. Oh, Linda. Witch's lace. Oh, look at that! Crazy spots. bubble, toil and trouble. Oh, night owl. Oh, that's like a words. It's like a newspaper header. It's got a date, issue number 13, Friday, October the 31st, 1986, Elsinore, Denmark. I wonder if 1986 actually did have Friday, October the 31st. That reminds me of Ray Bradbury, The Halloween Tree. Isn't that gorgeous? Some back. More pumpkins. I like those pumpkins. I wonder if they're big enough. I think they are. That one's not, unfortunately. It's not tall enough. If it was that way round, it would be perfect, but it's not quite big enough. Oh, look, another crow. Quoth the raven. Quoth the raven! Where is he? He's over there. I can't make him caw. Just pretend he's in the background going, caw, caw, caw. I like this. I'm going to do a page on ravens because that's my... I'm getting the call of the Morrigan, apparently. Because ravens and crows and things keep popping up everywhere at the moment. So that is awesome. Okay. What I plan to do... this one is my proper Book of Shadows. So the section that I'm going to do in here, I'm going to use my piece of felt for. But I'm going to show you today what I plan to do at the back. For that little section. I'm going to use my felt on this one because it's the nicer of the two books. The other one I can just use a piece of paper, I think. So I'm going to do my alterations in my herbal. Whoops! Craft lunch! I knew that was going to happen eventually. Okay, so, said earlier I've put these things in. What I want is dividers without dividers. And the way to do dividers for me is to have a thicker section for the book, for this section of the book, on the edge here. So the first thing I'm going to do is put some extra sections in here. I'll explain that better in a minute. And then I'm going to decide whether I want tabs or not. Now obviously if you want tabs and you want them sticking out your book or at the top or bottom or whatever, and you want them as part of the page, like this, then ideally you want to cut your pages with the tabs. So you'd want to get like a Filofax A5 would fit this because this is A5, and use the tabs for that. But I don't want big tabs that will stick out. I like little tabs, little bits, and I like bottom tabs rather than top tabs. But I also want to put some more bookmarks in, so I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with these. Now, I like that page, and I do want to put a section in that is towards the back of the herbs section. So where's my... This is why I need more bookmarks. Right, that's my incense section. So all of this is going to be herbs, but I want a little section on recipes. So bits and pieces of... Yeah, that should be enough. I can always get another book. Have 2 reference books. I won't need that many for recipes. I don't have that many. But things like llama spread and stuff like that, I want to be able to put in here. So I think I'll use the pumpkins for that. And then this is kind of herby. Oh, those dots, crikey. This is herby. I like that. I think I'll use that at the front for my herbs. So I've got regular herbs, food recipe things. What's that page again? What's I going to use that section for? Oh, maybe that was the section I was going to use for food. Oils. Have a section for oils, like anointing oil and stuff like that. And then I've got incense in here. Incense. That's very smoky. I like that one. These are thicker papers. They're not very thin, skinny papers. And then this one is potions and tinctures and salves. I like that one. Now, crystals. Well, obviously I've got that one for crystals, and that's not going to fit, is it? I'm going to use that one for herbs. That one's food. This one is oils. Use that for oils. Incense, so birds. Birds are incensey type things. Not incense, air related. That's what I was looking for. Sorry, I'm muttering to myself because I'm thinking about, I'm kind of visualising things in my head as well. So let's use the witch's lace for the crystals. Okay. So now I've decided what I want. And the next thing I need to do, oh, sorry, baby girl, without kicking Maddie in the shins, is trim these up to a size that will work. My cutting board. Whoops. My metal ruler is around here somewhere. I had it this morning. Oh, there's my, that one will do. Unless I find my metal one when I move something in a minute. And my knife. So, oh, and I will also need, because I'm not messing around with Pritt stick, oh, I will also need corner rounder and tape runner, which I think is empty, so I might have to mess around with Pritt stick. Yeah, tape runner's empty. Poo. Okay then, Pritt stick. Okay, here we go. This is what we're going to do. Now, because this is a bound book, I don't want to be shoving stuff right up in the margins here like this and closing the book. That will put stress on the spine, okay? So we're not going to get crazy like that. What we're going to do is leave a gap, okay? And I like to leave a gap of about that big. And it's going to go on this side. So if I do that, see, that's about the same gap there. It's a bit tricky doing this without a, let me get my other book. It's not on a flat surface, so it's a bit tricky. Here we go. So put that there, fold that down, grab a pencil, let's do it. Oh, I like that dirty edge at the top there. Let's use that. Mark gone. There we go. So make sure it's flush at the top there. Not flush with the outer edge of the book, you want it flush with the inner edge of the book. I'm going to have to move it a bit further in because that is, it's getting in the way where the cover of the book is bigger than the page. I can't feel where the page is going to be, so line it up there, flush with the page, bit of a gap. Line this up on this side with that mark I made. There we go. So that's how wide it's going to be. That's how long it's going to be. Move stuff. Honestly, if you see the state of my desk now. I tidied it up yesterday, it was really neat and tidy. Now it's just like a bomb's exploded all over it again. Okay, I'm going to chop this off here. Are you following? So this is going to be my front page for my herbs. This is my divider. It's going to go there. See, it's perfect fit. Corner rounder. Yeah, that way round. Oops. Like that. This is why I wanted to use tape, but I'm going to have to use glue. I'm not going to put this all over, I'm just going to like put it across and then make sure it's all around the edges. And now line this up with my paper. Make sure you don't get any air trapped under it or it will start peeling up. The good thing about Pritt Stick is that if it's slightly off you can move it around a little bit. There we go. And El Credit Cardo. Make sure you get all that air out. a little bit there that I need to trim off because apparently the book's not quite square, or I didn't stick it down quite right, either way. So I'll just trim that off. It fitted on two sides and not the other one. I'll do that a bit later. Can't be bothered fiddling right now. There we go. Now what I've got is a harder section. So even without a tab, I can tell that that is the beginning of a section. See? It's clever, isn't it? Now, of course, if you've got like sticky tabs or whatever, you could use those. You could even put in, where are those flags? Like if you've got flags like these, but they're hard flags, you could even stick one of those on top or underneath. Like if you wanted to stick it under there, like that, as a tab, you could. In all honesty, I'd probably just use these because I can move them around to whatever page I want to use. So I've got one for my section, but then I can, you know, if I'm using this page, I can just whack it in there. To me, that's more practical. So, once more with feeling. Let's do the pumpkin, shall we? Now, the advantage is that I already know how wide it's got to be, so I can line that up. Whoops. No, that's not going to show up, is it? Use that top section again, I think. You've all gone really quiet. Are you doing your own dividers? Because that would be so cool. Like we're in a little creative coven. Choppy. For those of you who can't see what I'm doing, I'm using my grid to line up my page so that I only need one mark to see. So I've got one mark here, but I don't have one that side. But by lining it up with the grid and lining my ruler up with the grid, I only need one mark. One mark, zero measuring. So let's pop these. Right, this one, this piece, is far too big for my book as it is. It's possible I might want to use a full A5 size, so what I'm going to do is chop it off just a little bit shorter than A5 because If it's not a divider, normally I don't put it to the full edge of the page. Chop that bit up. Like that. So I've got a couple of scraps there that I can use on pages later if I want to in my book shadows. This, you could use that as a bookmark. You could use it as a border. You could use it as a panel to write a spell on. You could use it as a header, chop a bit off and use it as a header. You could laminate it and use it as a notes bookmark. All sorts of things you can do with something like that. So I keep these bits, I don't get rid of them. That one is just a little bit bigger than A5, but you never know, it might be useful to have a bookmark that's a little bit bigger than A5, so I'll leave that one for now. I won't cut that one down. Next, once more with feeling. Now this time I'm going to be sensible. Where did it go? Oh, that is my panel. That's my page. That's the bit I just cut off. Idiot. This time I'm going to be sensible and I'm going to use that as a template to cut out the rest. You're eating your lunch and watching, wondering where you can get scraps of pretty paper without spending a fortune. The best thing to do, I think, is either pop down your local crafts shop, especially at the moment if you want witchy type stuff or darker papers. Post-Halloween is a really good time to get them because everybody's over Halloween now. It's all on clearance. Check online, obviously. But look for paper packs. Graphic 45 do some really awesome paper packs, like the Old Curiosity Shop and the Steampunk 45, which is one of my favourites. It's all about spells and potions, but it's all steampunk. Go online and print some out. Find some designs that you like and print them out, or pictures that you like, because it's personal use. It's personal book shadows. It's not like you're going to be photocopying them and selling them or anything. So go on somewhere like DeviantArt where it's got options to download for free, which means you can print it for personal use. Find pictures that you really like and print them out at 50% opacity, and what you'll get is like a ghost image. Or you could print them on vellum like those butterflies. Or you could look for, especially now, again in the sales, especially if you're in the US, obviously, Halloween wrapping paper. Throughout the year, look for seasonal wrapping paper. So you could have a section, if you want to section off your pages, like Yule and Samhain and all that, you can have a different words, a different theme for each bit of the year. There you go, there's two. I really want to keep this bird on this bit. I really like that bird. So I'm going to put that there. I'm so hungry, my stomach's rumbling. What's going on? I had lunch. Wrapping paper, yeah. Especially in the US, you've got some really awesome wrapping papers. Or those little gift bags. Somebody sent me, was it Bren, sent me some candy corn. And she sent it in one of these little Halloween gift bags with little, like voodoo skeletons and fireworks. It's really cute. Or you can get gift bags like, here's my little book. Little book, where are you? Oh, I might have left it in the other room. Somebody sent me, honestly, it's ridiculous the amount of things people sent me. I'm very grateful to people who think of me and send me things. It's very, very nice of them. But honestly, you don't need to. Thank you, but you don't need to. It's like cellophane, clear cellophane gift bags, like trick-or-treat bags. They were for trick-or-treat. And she sent me a whole stack of them. Cellophane with sugar skulls all over them. There's nothing to stop you using like if you had a white piece of card like this, like something like basic grey. Almost everybody who used to do scrapbooking has got some basic grey somewhere. You could use something like this and then put the sugar skull design over the top. So that's really cool. You can always print your own vellum. Jelly plates. Who's got a jelly plate? Use up some of that jelly paper you've been using. Maybe print a nice design, like something like this, just a black and white design. Print it on a piece of paper that you've done jelly plating on. Or print it and then jelly plate over the top, but be careful that your ink doesn't run. And, you know, you can use that for dividers or sections or backgrounds or whatever. If you print it on printer paper, obviously you're using like thin paper, that's more of a background type paper. If you print it on card, that's more of a divider type paper, or sections like I'm doing. Or if you laminate it, you could turn it into a Filofax divider if you're using a Filofax for your book of shadows. That one looks upside down. That's the way the paper, the writing is. But to me that looks upside down. It looks like it should go that way. Yeah, I'm going to do it that way. I like that blue edging there, so I'm going to use that bit. What else could you use? Tissue paper. Stamp on tissue paper. And put that in, especially if you're going to do tabs. If you're going to do tabs, you don't need thick paper. I'm using thick paper because I don't want to have tabs. I want to be able to flick through my book and feel where it is. But you could use tissue paper that you stamped on, collage that down with a Mod Podge or matte medium or whatever, wet glue for tissue paper, smooth it all down or wrinkle it up and have a bit of texture going on there if you want to, and then put a tab on it. I still think my best idea was wrapping paper. Gift wrap is a fantastic way of saving money on patterned paper, because you can get a whole roll of it, and not only can you use it for birthday presents and things, you can also use it in your book of shadows, and you've got so much of it that you kind of can use the whole cohesive set throughout your book. And especially around Christmas, you get all these beautiful silvery papers and things, and you quite often get coordinating tags and ribbons and stuff like that. So you could really go to town with it, have a whole matching set for your book. Or, what else did I just think? Wrapping paper, wrapping paper, wrapping paper, big rolls of wrapping paper, big rolls of wrapping paper, brown paper. What about brown paper? Packing paper, like you use for packing parcels. Not the wax paper type, the one that's dull on both sides. You could draw on it if you wanted to. Draw and paint on it. You know, make your own designs with pretty stamps or doodles or whatever. Is that enough ideas for you? Where to get pretty paper? What time are we on? Almost 2 hours. That's not bad. I might go to 3 because I really want to get my bookmark done. I'll show you how I'm going to do that. Again, ribbons. Here's a good source for ribbons, especially if you want black ribbons or just plain coloured satin ribbons. When you buy new tops and they've got those useless bits of ribbon on the shoulders that's supposed to keep it on the hanger but never does, and it just sticks out every which way when you're wearing your top, chop them off, use them as bookmarks. That's what I do. I've got a bit fancier ones for my book of shadows, but yeah, I've always got long pieces, because I nearly always wear black. I've got long pieces of black ribbon with the odd bit of red or purple here and there, about that long. It's perfect for an A5 book. Okay, is that all my bits? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've stuck one in already. Okay, let's do it this way. Whoops. So, let's find. I've got to put them all back in the order that I wanted them now, haven't I? This is why I need dividers. I didn't really want to section my other book off, but I need to be able to find things in here. Okay, so there's incense. That was going to be the bird, wasn't it? Incense. So that's the bird. Recipes and food. There's the pumpkins. Crystals up at the back here. That was going to be that lace one. Tinctures and salves, that one. Why have I got an extra one? Incense. Recipes. Oh. Dark ones. So, here we go. Hi, Tracy. Again, make sure I get it all around the edges, because that's the important bit to stick. For collage, I stick the whole thing, but for stuff like this, you don't really need to stick the whole thing, you just need to stick around the edges. And then a bit across the middle. Oops. Sticky glue on my fingers. On the edge, slide it to the corner, make sure it's straight, squish out the air and stick it down. Just make sure you've got all the glue off the edges, because sometimes a bit sneaks out. So now, you see, you can see a bit better on this one now. Now I've got flicking through and flicking through. Oh look, there's my section. Flicking through, flicking through. Oh, there. Flicking through, flicking through. Oh, there's my section. Obviously, if you're right-handed, you might want to do it this way. I do love that bird, it's so beautiful. Such a pretty design. There's nothing to stop you inking this on yourself if you've got even the vaguest ability to sketch, you know. So see, I stuck this on here originally because I stuck it on upside down because I was a bit dense yesterday. A bit special, as Courtney would say. And then I thought, oh, I could stick something across there. And hey presto, this idea was born. Sometimes when you make a mistake, that's where your best ideas come from. Because I was trying to figure out how I could put some kind of tabs or something in without actually putting tabs or something in. I am not a fan of tabs, especially on a big book like this, where it's all flush to the edges. Oh, no, they've got to be flappy tabs like this. I don't like big sticky out jutty tabs. I don't mind them in folders, but not in books so much. And it's quite quick. Once you get the hang of it, it's pretty quick to do. And of course all of these pages, if you pick one that's plain enough, like this, or if you know, something like this, you could always use one of those vintage label things and stick it on. Or, you know, distress a piece of paper, piece of lined paper, and put that on. You could make an index. So, for instance, these things I was talking about. You could rewrite things to do down here as, you know, contents or ingredients or whatever. I've got sticky fingers now, glue everywhere. You know, distress the edges or, you know, whatever. Put that on there and you've got a list. You could do a contents in that section. You could even burn the edges of this. When you burn the edges of paper, you don't burn the edges of paper. Hang on, I'm going to show you. Because I saw somebody doing this the other day. Claire and Kate both did it in their books and set fire to things. And I saw somebody doing it on a video the other day and they set fire to it. You don't need to set fire to it. Hopefully I can do this without it bothering the camera. Down here it should be fine. But you get a lighter and you don't put the paper in the flame. You only need to get it near the flame. See? Don't do it under your smoke detectors like I'm doing. See? That's how you get a burnt edge. You don't need to set fire to your paper. Especially some of these cheap papers. You set fire to these cheap papers, they'll go whoosh. You just have to go steady with it. Get it above the flame. In the heat, there you go. See it? You see it. You see it's smoking before it goes red. Obviously, it's not showing on camera because the lighting is crazy. I don't know why my whites are so off today, but see, I'm nowhere near it, and it's singeing the edges. It's especially if you've got a rough edge like that, that will catch really quickly. There you go, see? No need to set fire to anything, okay? It's a lot easier to do it in a candle because you can hold it with two hands, so do it above a candle. And if you keep your fingers damp, once it catches and it goes orange, like a joss stick, rather than fire, you want like a joss stick red. As soon as it goes red, take it out and touch it with your fingers. It's not that hot. It's just like snuffing out a candle. If you're brave enough to snuff out a candle with wet fingers, you can do this. So using a candle is much easier, and then you can put it in the flame, burn the edges, oh, pinch it. And it's really quick to do. If you're afraid to set it on fire, do it in like the kitchen sink or something. That's the easiest thing to do, because if it's in the kitchen sink, you can whack the taps on. Watch out for the smoke alarms. But I've got a smoke alarm like literally right above my head, and that didn't set it off. So anywhere you can burn a joss stick, you can do that. And if it accidentally, bye Lotus, if it accidentally catches and goes up in flames, you've got the sink underneath you, you can just drop it. Do it in the kitchen sink, which is metal, not the bathroom sink, which is ceramic usually, or plastic. Don't want to do that. Right, where did we get to? There's the white one. See, this looks really pretty. I like this. So that's my incense. I'm sure I've got one missing somewhere. Ta-da! Sticky, sticky. Make sure it's glued down at the edges. That's the important part. Stick it on the edges and get all the air out of the middle. You don't want any air trapped in this bit, because that is what will stop your glue sticking after a while. Trapped air is the reason that glue stick comes off after a couple of years, not the glue stick. Okay? I've got stuff stuck into books from when I was like 7 or 8, because I learnt that trick early on from my mum, and it's still stuck. I also swear by Pritt Stick, it's like the best glue ever. Yoo-hoo is pretty good as well, but I like Pritt Stick. I do not get paid for saying that, I'm just saying I like Pritt Stick because it's archival. If it's archival quality, it should stick forever. So if you're wanting it to last, don't buy some cheap ass glue for 25p down the newsagents. Invest in a proper bottle of glue, even if you only use it for your Book of Shadows. If you want it to last and stay stuck. But Pritt Stick is like, here it's like kids glue. It's really, really cheap. But if you go in Wilko's and buy their 25p glue, you know, that might be fine in, you know, just sticking bits and pieces here and there, but it's not going to last for a long-term book that you're going to be using a lot. Oh, there we go. So that's my crystals. I want the dark edge to this side. What type of glue? Never heard of that. Pritt Stick. It might not be a US glue. If you're in the US, Yoo-hoo is probably the equivalent. This is just our English brand. It's like the solid version of Elmer's glue, or PVA. Yoo-hoo glue is also, you know, the yellow one. The original Yoo-hoo glue is also archival. And like I say, as long as you get all the air out from underneath it, it will stick like forever. I'm so hungry. I've got a nice big jacket potato with cheese and coleslaw sitting in the kitchen waiting for me. Yeah, as long as it's archival glue, that's fine. I only recommend things from experience. I have used Yoo-Hoo glue. I don't like the smell. That's why I don't use it. I'm quite sensitive to smells, and it smells rank, frankly. Pritt Stick doesn't smell of anything, so I prefer Pritt Stick personally. But I can't recommend a glue to you that I haven't used. But certainly if you're in the UK or the EU, or apparently most of the world except America, Pritt Stick is a very good glue, and yes, if you want Yoo-Hoo, if you want some kind of sticky glue. Your Yoo-Hoo glue was too wet. What, the gel glue? There's two alternatives to that. Put the glue on and give it a second to kind of go tacky. There's one Yoo-Hoo that I know it's a different colour, and you wait for it to go, I think it's clear and it goes blue, or it's blue and it goes clear, and that's when you know it's optimal sticky. But if it's just too wet because maybe it's too hot, just stick it in the fridge before you use it. Try that and see if it solidifies it a little bit. Same incidentally works for lipstick. It wet the paper too much. Did you put it on the paper? Or did you put it on what you were sticking? You'll notice that with all these bits that I'm gluing in, I'm putting it on the heavier paper. I'm not putting it on the page. If I put it on the page... Oh, that was stuck. It was two pages together. If I put this on the page, it would warp this paper. Even though it's dry glue, it would be... I suppose, yeah, you could call it too wet. Oh, if you put it on both pieces of paper, you don't need to put it on both pieces of paper. It will definitely be too wet if you put it on both sides. Because even though it's a dry glue, it's still a gel stick, it's still damp. So what I would do in that case is put it on the thicker of the two pieces of paper, whichever that is. So if your paper is quite thick, your page is quite thick, you could actually put it straight onto the page, but I prefer it to put on whatever I'm sticking. And then give it a second or two to cure, and just keep tapping it until it feels... I go for the consistency of nail varnish. You know when you touch your nail varnish and it's not quite dry and it's tacky? I go for that. And then make sure that you use air. You use a credit card or something, a store card, to get the air out. Like even that little corner, if you don't get the air out from under that corner, it'll just come up again. You've got to get a really good bond, and you've got to get it to the edges of the paper. So try that and see how it works. But if it's literally the glue when you open it, it's just like this is too gloopy, try putting it in the fridge. Or even the freezer if you want to get it going in a hurry. It won't do any harm to the glue. Right, so that's that one. I've got to try and figure out what I'm doing here because... So that's my crystal section. And then I've got... That's my potions and tinctures. And that's incense. Ah, so I am no, I'm not missing one. Potions and tinctures. Incense. Recipes. Was I going to put another section in there? Herbs. I need a big section for herbs. I had a bookmark in there, but I don't know why. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to use this dark one for the Scotch glue is fine. Scotch is almost exactly the same as Pritt Stick. In fact, I think they're both made by 3M, aren't they? Scotch glue is fine, if you can get hold of that. We can't get it here, the Scotch glue. We get the tapes, but we don't get the sticks. Okay. That was a smaller piece. Okay. I kind of like that, actually. With the sparkly bits. Can you see the sparkly bits? It kind of looks like, not DNA molecules, but like chemistry things, like, you know, H2O and all that kind of stuff. Protons and neutrons. Nori paste. Oh, there you go. Cheryl's in... Cheryl does a lot of scrapbooking and collage work and arty stuff. She recommends nori paste, and she's in America, so maybe try that. Thanks, Cheryl. The dark stuff at the back, yes. I got there eventually. Okay. Now I've got to remember that I've turned my book upside down. Dark things, yeah. Well, not dark as in evil. Dark as in poisonous plants, darker crystals that you need to keep under wraps. You know, some crystals have some really intense energy, and they're best kept in a little black bag or something like that. Stuff like dried lily petals are poisonous to animals. Foxglove, digitalis, is highly toxic if you even get it on your hands. Chili. You know, you use chili in a lot of things, but if you get it anywhere near your eyes, ow, you need to be careful with it. There's some things that, like lavender, for instance, I would put lavender in the back here because although it's used in a lot of things, I can't use it, I'm allergic to it. So it's never going to go in my front section, but it's a really useful herb. So I could put lavender in the back here and just make a list of herbs and flowers that I can use instead of lavender in the front. Yeah? But this is like, let me find my, sorry, my throat's gone. Sorry about that. My throat's gone really dry for some reason. Oops. Phone's getting a bit crazy there. Do you like my picture? I found it on DeviantArt. I can't remember who the artist's name is. But it's called Morrigan. It's beautiful. It's a much bigger picture, but I just really liked the bird and her face. Okay. Practical magic. Book. Probably have to put Book of Shadows now because that'll come up with the novel. Turn this up so you can see it. Oof, that's bright. Okay. I don't know if you'll be able to see it properly, but it's got a section of book and then it's got a bit that opens out. Whoops. It's hard to show you. Ah, there's a close-up picture of one that somebody's made. You see how it's got the main section of the book, and then the back of it is like another book folding in, and you have one section this way, and then you turn it over, and you've got a smaller section at the back. That's what I want to do with this little bit. So here's my book, and I'm going to turn it over, and this bit, see where this white piece is? That is going to be like, so this will be another book. See? Clever, isn't it? So, what we're going to do is now things taking over my desk again. Yeah, I like this section here. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is chop it off. To the right height. If you've got the film Practical Magic or you've got access to it, about a third of the way in, when her husband dies, that's not a spoiler, and she runs into the house, she's scratching at the back door, she runs into the house, she goes to get the book and she says, "You have to do this," and they say, "No, we can't do that, dear, we don't do that." And she says, "No, it's here. I found it here when Mummy and Daddy died." That's the bit of the film you're looking for. But if you go on YouTube, you'll find plenty of versions where people have made their own versions. But what I noticed is that people are mostly making their own from scratch, whereas I've got a bound book. So you can't really do that in a bound book. I'm just going to trim this end off because it's serrated there. I don't like that. It's obviously where it's been taken out of the paper pack. I'm just going to trim that edge off. Like so. Okay, now I want it to have a really good bond. So, although it may seem wasteful, I'm going to put the whole of this section stuck onto the book, okay? Because if I just stick it like here, over time that's just going to come off. And we don't want that. We don't want to have to keep sticking things. I don't like doing a job twice. I'm too lazy to do things twice. So, decide which way up you want it, like that bit. So it's going to be a bit too wide. See, it's hanging over the edge of the book. I've lost my bit. There we go. That's where I wanted it. Put that there. that down, and then that's where I want my crease, and that's where I want my second crease. I'm only doing this gently, I can tighten it up in a minute, and then that is about where I'm going to want my edge. So there and there. Okay, so I've put it into, so this is going to be the flap. It's taking up that chunk of book. Fold it around because it's a thicker piece, so you don't just want to fold it in half, you want a double fold. And now I'm measuring it across so that I can stick it here. Okay. Let's cut that bit off first. Ooh, the glossy on this paper is a bit difficult to hold my ruler against. It's kind of skidding around. Okay. Now there's my creases. What I'm going to do is fold it across. Now because we haven't cut the top or bottom of the paper, if we line the bottom of the paper up like that and the top of the paper, we can put a proper crease in there. Like that. Now we've got a proper corner. We'll do the same the other side. So just roll it where you've folded it, creased it rather. Line it up on this edge. See, that's gone a little bit skew there. So pull it back up into line where it should be. It's quite tricky on some of these thicker papers. Come on! Don't make me cut you. There we go. Now, this is folded paper. You know what happens to folded paper over time, right? You open it, you close it, you open it, you close it, you open it, you close it, you open it, you close it. You know what happens, don't you? It's going to break. So, on the inside, I'm going to get some vellum tape, and I'm going to run a piece down either side. Oh, Arizona. Hello, Arizona. So that's over one seam there. Wasn't quite long enough. And that's over that seam there. Meet them up in the middle. Whoops. Now the reason I'm using vellum tape is because, hopefully you can see that, you can see the vellum tape at the moment there, you see, and you see the air trapped underneath it. Credit card. Squish all that air out. Vellum tape disappears. Obviously not the bits where you've got sticky, dirty finger marks on. If you want to fret about sticky, dirty finger marks, go and wash your hands before you start. But, you know, I don't care, frankly. Trim that down. Now that we've put that one on, I'm going to put one down the middle, which will cover both. See, I've got bits of glitter and glue on my hands. That's where it's coming from. There we go. Put a piece down the middle there. Covering both sides. So we've got two bits of tape over each one. Nice sturdy bond. And vellum tape doesn't go crispy either, like, what's it called? Sellotape. It's archival. And now, to protect the back outside of that spine, I'm going to put some on the outside as well. I'll be a little bit more careful with this one because you'll be able to see it. Line it up properly. There we go. It's a bit easier to see on this side. So there it is, kind of stuck down. Watch what happens when you take the air out of it. Ta-da! It's magic! Scotch vellum tape. It's awesome stuff. Make sure I've got really good bond, no air underneath that whatsoever, so it doesn't peel up. And rather than leaving that as a jagged edge, I'm just going to fold this over. Stick it on that side as well. So that protects the edges there as well, where it's going to be bending. Now I will use my ruler, get back in those corners and bend them up. There we go. So what you've effectively made now is a book cover. Okay, so there's your book cover. And which side is the flap? I'm actually going to use the longer side, I think. Yes. So it's going to go that way. So it creates a little book cover at the back. So I don't want it to stick out past the outer flap, but I want it to fit the pages. So let's grab my section. Fit it there. And because the corners are rounded, this is going to stick out a little bit, so let's get rid of those corners. Yeah. Ugh. Only 3 more to do. And this is going to make a peculiar shape at the top, but it doesn't matter. It's more important to me that it doesn't stick out past the edges of the book than it is a nice square shape. Practical Magic 3. Oh, the chat's gone whoosh. Okay. I missed a whole section of... Ugh! I think my hole punch needs sharpening. Corner punch, whatever. It is pretty old. Hi, baby girl. Ugh. Okay, so there's our book cover. So you see what I mean about a funny edge. But, you know, if that's going to bother you, you could just chop it off. And now, I think what I need to do is grab my section, put it in there like that, so it's right up against the pages. Pencil. I'm just putting a mark where it meets the edges there. See, now I've got somewhere to line it up to now. Hi, beauty. Okay, so once again, measure twice, cut once, okay? The amount of times I've stuck something in upside down because I've not checked. Now see, I've forgotten which way, because one side's bigger than the other. I've forgotten which way round it was. So is it that side? Yes. Okay. So this side is where we want to stick it. And the vellum glue won't stick, so I'm not going to go right up to the edge. That will give me a bit of leeway. So I'm going to go just up to the vellum glue. I may need to come back in with a bit stronger glue. I might have to heat glue this because this paper is embossed and sparkly. It may not stick with just Yoo-hoo glue. Yoo-hoo glue. Pritt stick. It might. Pritt stick's pretty strong and it's quite thick, so... Now because this is going to be a book cover that will be opened several times, I am going to put glue all over this just because I want a really good bond at the back here. Now in my other book I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to use a piece of, it's like felt velvet, it's very very stiff velvet. That I would put on with either fabric glue or heat gun. Okie dokie. So let's get this up to the line. It's not very straight. Straighten it up. Get it in the middle. Spread it out to the edge. Get all the air out. Now because it's a 3D kind of paper, give it some welly. Because that will also squish down the paper so it will not be quite so 3D, so it can create kind of a suction effect. really, really, really good sticky. Have you missed anything? I've missed a corner here. Don't know how I managed that because I put glue everywhere. Got glue all over me, all over the desk, all over the dog. But somehow I missed that corner. I always miss that corner, don't I? Every single piece I've stuck down, I've had to come back and do this corner. Oh, is that... Maybe that's where I touch it when I'm sticking it down. I don't know. I keep turning it round, so it's hard to tell. But... just check here. See, this is where the glue is seeped out, where you've got it really stuck down. You want to make sure you get that glue up. So I rub it with my finger because that stops it being sticky, and then I just scrape it up with a credit card. There we go. So now we have a section at the back that is like another book. I can actually fit quite a bit in there actually. There we go. And it's got a spine, so we can, you know, you could put a label on there if you wanted to. If you know what you're going to put in it before you start, we could have written on here before we stuck it in. Could have written on there with a gold pen before we stuck it in or something like that. Now what I'm going to do with this overnight to make sure it sticks flush is weight it like that, and then like that, and then with whatever else I can put on top to make sure that it sticks properly. Now in this section what we need is a bookmark. And this is going to be my cover page. This is just where I test my pens at the back, so I'm not worried about that being in there. Once I've done all my pen tests, or these pages are finished or whatever, if I want to I can just stick that down and that'll cover that. Or you can just paper clip them together. I'm not bothered about it, it won't bother me at all. Okay, so let me show you the finished thing now that I've stopped whizzing it around. It's really quiet. Is Maddie sleeping? Yeah, she's tucked up under my feet at the moment. Poor baby hasn't had much sleep for the last 4 weeks because of the fireworks, so she's making the most of it. So, here's my book of shadows now. So you open it up at the front and you can see there's dividers now for each section. Obviously I've got to put a title on this page and stuff like that. I can find these now. This needs trimming up, but I can do that in a bit. It's nice and easy to find my sections now, which was driving me potty, frankly. This is catching. Why is that catching? Ah, the corners need rounding off. It's actually, it's not Maddie that makes all the noise, it's Scooby that makes all the noise. He sits and chats to himself, but he's taken himself off to bed, I think. So there's my, like I say, sections without tabs. Because I use thicker papers, really easy. But you could put a tab on here if you wanted to. Nothing's stopping you doing that. I will almost certainly just use, like I say, these page flags because I just find them easier. And I'll just put one in each section, and then, you know, when I'm flipping through, and I'll go, oh yeah, I need to bookmark that page. And then I've got my tab where I need it. So I'll just put one of these on each section for now. And then, see, so I'll have my sections there. And then, for the other stuff, here's the other book, the second book. And I've stuck that in the wrong place, haven't I? I've stuck that there and it should be there. See, I told you I always managed to stick something in the wrong place. I've stuck it there and it should be on there. Don't matter, it covers up that bit. I can just put another bit on there. Another bit of that dark paper. Have a look. Something had to go wrong, didn't it? I mean, it wouldn't be Witchy Wednesday if everything went to plan, did it? Would it? Maddie, she's awake. She's looking very bleary. Hello, my love. Are you a bit discombobulated now? Oh, I had a nap, Mummy, and I don't know what day it is. That's how I felt when I got up earlier, babe. Okay, where are my marks now? There's one. Oh, no, I like that edging bit. It would be a lot easier to do this if my mat didn't have a big hole thing, lumpy bit. I like this corner here, so I'm going to measure it the other way round. go, that's better. There. I'm in the zone, can you tell? Ooh, 10 minutes to go. We've got an extra hour today. I don't know why I always say, oh, I'm going to try and do a 2-hour show, because I can never manage 2 hours, do I? Everything is 3 hours. Now, I don't know if you can hear this. I don't think it'll pick up on the microphone. But there's kind of a snappling noise, like snap, crackle and pop when you put the milk on. When I'm doing this, it's like a crinkly noise. That's the air bubbles coming out. That is why I do it on both sides. This side, you stick it down, you get the bond. This side is much thinner, so you can push the air out a lot easier because the paper is easier to manipulate. So, in case you were wondering why I was doing it both sides. Okay, so, as I was saying... oh, dearie me. My sections, I can find my sections. There they are. Nice and easy now. And then, turn it over, open it up. Here's my second section of my book. So yeah, it's clever, isn't it? I'm going to do the same with my proper book of shadows. I may have put too much paper in there now, but it doesn't matter. I can just recrease that. It'll be fine. Just round that off. It'll fit. That's why I reinforced it. There we go. So now I've got 2 books in one, just like in the Practical Magic thing. And now these bookmarks are sewn down into the binding. Oops, sorry. They're sewn down into the binding, so they're not stuck on the outside like a moleskin notebook. They're sewn down into the middle here. So it's not really going to be practical to try and put another one down there because you're not going to get your glue down in there. The answer is... oh, hang on a minute. I need my other box. Oh, my knee's gone stiff. I've been sat down for too long. We didn't take a break today, did we? Crikey. Do you all not need coffee today or something? Usually halfway through you're all like, I'll be back in a minute, I'm going to get a coffee. I'm like, oh yeah, let's take a break. sewing needle. Yeah, we'll use that one. It's got a bit of pink thread on it. That's not quite, well, it's not, it doesn't matter if it matches or not, but it'll be better than black. Yes, I said that. Okay, so my, hello Sally, oh kisses, thank you lovely, thank you darling, that was lovely. She's given you all kisses. I leant down to pick my stuff up and she gave everybody kisses. Okay, so all these. I don't want the fluffy ones. I don't like fluffy bookmarks. I'll use them for something else. That's not quite long enough. No, it's not going to be long enough. These will be. So I've got a red, I've got a gold. Let's use the green because it's a herb book, and let's use the brown. And then I can use the cream, the mauve, and the red in my other book. Okie dokie. So here's what we're going to do. Oh, have I got any more in there? No. I don't tie knots in my sewing, ever. Just tilt this up so you can see what I'm doing, hopefully. Okay, so here's my bookmarks, and they're kind of laid side by side. So if you turn the book that way, you can see they're not on top of each other. So I don't want to open the book and sew them together. What I'm going to do is just stitch oh, where's my ribbons gone? On the floor! Yay! Already. Let's try that again. There's no right or wrong side to this ribbon. Now, all I'm going to do is stitch that. I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm going to leave a little bit of overhang so that I can push that down in the spine of the book. And I'm just going to stitch this bit to that bit there. Now I'm not going to tie a knot. I don't like knots. I would rather stick a bit of glue on it so it doesn't come undone. Basically, I'm just getting as close to the top of the spine as possible. Just pull it very carefully the first couple of times, and then after that you'll just have the bit there. If you want to get it really close to the spine, use a curved needle. Hi Julia. So I'm just giving this a couple of stitches. Doesn't need to be anything heavy duty. Snip that off. Same on the other one. Yes, there's a sticky out bit. Don't worry about that. We'll deal with that in a minute. Just don't sew it by accident to that bit. Okay. Might be a bit easier to see this side. So leave a little bit. Sew the two ribbons together as close to the spine as you possibly can. Don't pull it all the way through. Back up. Oh, it's trickier this side. I can't see what I'm doing so well. Don't pull it too hard, that way you won't pull it all the way through and you won't need a knot. So here's the tail. Once you've gone down and up twice and you've completed a full circle, you can pull it tight. And yes, I just stuck that in my finger. See, that's not coming undone. Hi Jenny. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like my videos. Haven't been doing an awful lot of recorded videos lately. I honestly haven't had time. I'm finishing off this year's class and I'm prepping for next year's class, which I normally would have already done, but I moved, so I lost 2 months in the middle of the summer because I moved house. So I'm a little bit behind with everything. And something's got to give, and it's much easier to just come on for 3 hours, do this, and have it automatically upload and not have to worry about editing or anything than it is to try and record a video. I can do 3 hours here just coming on. Bam, 3 hours. Job done. Whereas if I'm... where's my box? There it is. If I'm recording a video, a half-hour video takes 3 hours to do. So it's quicker, it works out more efficient to just come on here and do this. I might do them more often. The trouble is, if you only do a 20-minute video, if you only do a 20-minute show, unless you've scheduled it in advance, people don't know when it is. So by the time you've done your 20 minutes, that's it, it's over, and you only got 3 people there. So it's a bit pointless. But I can't schedule it in advance because the scheduler doesn't work. We had all sorts of ructions when I tried to use the scheduler. It sent people to the wrong page and nobody could access the video and it didn't record properly and all sorts. So, but that's why it's called a beta. Okay, now because this is really tight, I can snip it off right down here. Eventually they might work their way loose. But what I'll do is when I've finished here, I'll just put a little dab of clear glue on that knot, on those stitches, and you'll never see it, you won't know it's there, it'll hold itself in, no problem. Reminded me of the time I stabbed myself with a Coptic stitching a book and bled on some of the pages. Well, you know, sometimes you've got to put your blood, sweat and tears into things, right? So I've got these, I've now got green and brown ribbons on here with my red and gold. And I've kept these ones. Aren't they pretty? They've got like gold edges. They're so pretty. I've got a dark pink, a purple and a cream. And I've got a bright red like this somewhere as well that I can put in the other one. And somewhere, because I just bought a new vest top the other day, I stocked up on my vest tops in the summer sale, or the post-summer sale. Summer vest tops, but they're in the sale now because they're summer ones. They were cheap anyway. Inside the corners of my vest tops, like in here, where they hang on the hanger, there's always a little bit of ribbon and it's completely pointless. I hate it. I always take it out. But I keep those bits of ribbon and I use them as bookmarks. So what I'll do is, in the back here, I'll go to the top of here, and where it sticks out a little bit further at the bottom than it does at the top. If you've got one of these bound books, you'll know what I mean. It's just got like a little bit of canvas, and I'll just tack a couple of those ribbons onto here and then push them down the spine of the book. Okay, so that'll be but I'll be a bookmark for the back piece then. But I haven't got time to show you how to do that now. Maybe I'll do it next week. So all I'm going to do now is stand my book up, get something pokey. This is it's a hair thing, and if you can see, but whether it's stuck all the way along here, but where the bookmarks are, there's a tiny little hole. So I'm just going to shove those bits down into that tiny little hole. This is why we left ends. Those shoved down in there like that. And this one shoved down in there and that. That's not quite long enough, but it will do. And you could stick a bit of glue on this before you push them down, but this is so tight, I don't think it's going to come out. If it does, I'll stick a bit of glue down there. Blob of wet glue, drop it down, close your book, job's done. So now I have 4 bookmarks, 2 original bookmarks and 2 new bookmarks that I've put on. Whoever's licking, stop it. Better not be at your feet again, Miss Maddie. And then here's a tip for a bit of ribbon on the end, because it will fray even if you cut it at an angle. Take a little bit of glue stick. And stick it on there. When it hardens, it's just enough to just get into the edges and stop it fraying later. These look like non-fray ribbons. They've actually been, I think they've been heat cut, so they shouldn't fray at all. If the glue doesn't work, you can of course seal it with a bit of flame. Oh, I've got flame. Hang on, I've got flame because it's plastic nylon ribbon. Nylon ribbon is plastic. Where is it? Where's the Bernie? Don't put it in the flame. Put it near the flame and it will melt. Wet your fingers. And just roll it out so it's not like bubbling up. Again, near the flame, you'll see it curl. There it goes. There you go, that's your ribbons sealed. Should have done the other ends as well before I put them in, but never mind. So now I've got bookmarks that I can use for different pages. So I'm using that page at the moment. I've been using yarrow. I've been doing rose and elderflower. So elderflower and rose quartz. No. What was it I was working on then? Oh, amethyst. There's an amethyst one. And you see, because we stitched it just above the book, it's not tearing into the pages. It splits above the book. So you can pull your bookmarks down flush and they won't do horrible things to your pages. And oh, can't wait for When Frogs Sing 2016 and the extra writing classes. Yeah, it's going to be fun. The writing class is a repeat, so is the planner class, is a repeat of last year's, but it's going to be basically the same videos put up again. So anybody who did it this year, you can redo it and you'll have the same videos. But for those of you obviously who haven't done it, it will be new content. But I'll do additional videos because the project and things will be different, and obviously I'll rewrite some of the writing prompts and stuff like that. So it's a rerun class, but it's less work for me, but you get a new class out of it. So there you go, that's my herbs book. Rose, there we go. I knew I was working on rose. So there's all my ribbons. Obviously you can put charms and dangles on there if you want to. I'm not a charms and dangles kind of girl. Not on my books. Drives me nuts. I was just looking around the desk to see if I could find that black ribbon to just stitch that on quickly, because it only took me 4 minutes to put those ribbons on. I know I've got a bit of black ribbon here somewhere. I cut it off my jumper this morning. Oh, I know. 1 second. Here we go, I can show you what I mean. I bought 2 tops. See, on these vest tops with thin straps, you always get these. Always. They are no use to man or beast. They do not help your tops stay on the hanger. They just get tangled up in the washing machine and get tangled up in your hair, get tangled up in your jewellery, and then just when you're trying to look all professional or trying to have a photo taken or look cute for a date or something like that, wham, they stick out. So I cut them off. And these are the perfect length for a bookmark. So let's do that quickly. We're overrunning a bit, but hey ho. So now we've got to think about this because it's all going to be upside down. It's going to be the wrong way round. One Book December, information will be on the One Book July Facebook page, and Vicky and Carrie and myself will do a video sort of towards the end of November. And at some point in the next 2 weeks, there will be a download that you can have for... I'm not sure if I'm going to charge for it yet, because I'm not running my Christmas class, you see, so I may need to charge $1 or $2 for it, or I might just do it as a donation, I don't know. I might just do it as a donation, actually, and then anybody who wants to do it can do it, and anybody who wants to donate, then that's very kind of you, thank you very much. Buys Maddie a Christmas present. Right, so double check, because this is going to be the opposite way round, isn't it? So your bookmarks are going to hang out the other way. So we want it up here on this edge. So I'm going to just move those out of the way. You can feel on these bound books, it's there's a ridge of like 2/8 of an inch, and I'm going to stitch those onto there. So Cheryl lives in New Mexico desert. If you go past Texas into New Mexico, and there's a big space in the middle of nowhere, okay? And if you keep going through that big space in the middle of nowhere to the back of beyond, and then go another 3 miles, that's Cheryl's house. How are your trees now, Cheryl? Are they sorted? Is it Cheryl or Cheryl? Do you know, I've known you for like, what is it, 4 or 5 years now? And I still don't know if it's Cheryl or Cheryl. because I've never heard you say your name, you see. I'm looking for a bit of dark. There's some black. There we go. Oh, it's navy blue, but that'll do. Close enough. Near as dang it, as my nan would have said. Near as dang it. Oof! Miss Maddie, was that you? That was a stinky one, Miss Maddie. Goodness me. Oof. I bet that hurt. Okay. So here we go. Right, now to make this a bit easier, what I'm going to do is stitch these together first. So again, we're going to leave a bit of a gap because I want to shove this down in the spine. And the spine on this end is a bit looser, so I'm going to leave a bit more space, especially since these are really long. Let's see. I can actually do it there and they're still long enough. So put those on top of each other. Oh, shaking. And stitch them together. It's hard to see against that dark background, isn't it? I bought a light desk because it's easier to see. So leave the tail out. You don't need a knot. Sew it a couple of times. It's just back and forth stitch. Don't be worried about sewing. If you use the right colour, thread, you know, it's black on black. Nobody's going to see it. Just in and out, in and out, in and out. Okay. So now I've got to think about which way it's going to go down into the spine. That's all I've got to think about. So let's just clip that in for now because it's wibbling about all over the place. Just stay there. Okay, so there's the hole in the spine. There's the two little dangly bits that are going to go down into it. That's the side my thread is, so I need to sew it this way. I'm going to drop that down into the spine. I'm simply going to push it through like that a couple of times. It's a bit tricky to see. I'm trying to keep my hands out of the way so you can see what I'm doing, but it's a bit hard to do because I'm going to drop the needle otherwise if I do that. This would have been easier with a curved needle. Whoops. Thread came out. I'm not stitching it through the paper or anything, I'm just stitching it onto that little bit of canvas that sticks up where the paper is stuck to the canvas. Now obviously if you don't have that on your book, you might have to resort to sticking it in with a bit of glue. But honestly, if you're doing a book of shadows, you've probably got a book that's got a bit of canvas spine on it. So there we go, trim that off. And there we go, we've got 2 bookmarks for this section. Voila! It seems like a heavy book. It's actually not as heavy as you'd think, because the paper's quite light. It's a Japanese book, so the paper is quite light. It's 600 pages. It's nowhere near as heavy as you'd think 600 pages would be. It isn't exactly the kind of book I would carry about with you. I wouldn't take it out with me somewhere, no. But I have a little Leuchtturm pocket notebook that I use, a little hardback Leuchtturm that I use if I'm going out and about, if I'm going like casting out and about or foraging or anything like that. I'll take my little book with me. And that's where I press flowers as well. I just put some kitchen paper in and press them together. But they do a little book like this that's about this big, which is a much more portable size. This isn't it. It's my journal at the moment, but I don't know where it is. I think it's in the other room. Or you could use something like this, a field notes book. You know, something like these little things. Look at this lovely little book. This is one of the field notes. This is actually a journal one, but it's a field notes one. It's got gold on the front. It's got gold edges. Nice little size. If you've got really big writing, you could get a blank one and use it that way. So you've got double size pages. You know, these little books are fabulous for that. This is my go everywhere book. I don't take my journals with me anymore. I take these because these have all got detachable pages. So if I do a journal entry, I just make sure I only write on one side, and then I can take this out and stick it in my book when I get home. Or if I draw on something, I've got some sketches here that I do. But this is my wallet. This goes everywhere with me. My wallet, my on-the-go journal, my notebook, my sketchbook, everything is in here. And then I've got this little section. This is going to be, oh, you weren't here when I said this earlier. This is going to be my, this is a date book, week on each side. This is going to be for next year's project for When Frogs Sing 2016, which is my year and a day. So I'm going to write in here what it is and then put a page number for where it is in my book of shadows for where the notes are. Because I've got another book of this, like this, with lines in, that I'm going to do my year and a day study in. But you could get something like that and just, you know, slip that. Even if you're, you know, perhaps if you're going somewhere where you don't really want lots of people to recognise what it is or see what it is, or, you know, perhaps you have to put it inside your purse or something. You know, one of those stuck in the back of your book. Nobody would think anything of it. They'd just think it was a notebook, wouldn't they? Because, you know, some people have to keep things quieter. I appreciate that. And, you know, these field notes books, if you're starting out, something like this could be daunting. You know, you don't, it's too nice. It's pretty. It's, you know. But if you get a couple of these and one of these leather note covers, the Traveller's Note style covers, whack a couple of these in, there you go, you've got one for herbs, you've got one for spells you want to write down, you've got one for bits and pieces that you're reading, you've got one for maybe crystals and other bits and pieces that you pick up. Perhaps you're doing a daily tarot reading, you could put that in a little journal, and there you go, you've got your book of shadows. Tiny little thing that you can fit in your handbag. But no, I wouldn't carry this out and about with me. It's not really for that. It's more of a home reference type thing. So there you go. I think that's it for today. I'm losing my voice. We've overrun by 1 hour and 20 minutes. It's not bad. You're precious with your Micklereus. Wow. That's like a throw it around in the corner type book. Something like... I've lost my thing. I'll put that there for now. Hang on. This is the little portable notebook that I got from Janelle, who made my big, chunky Book of Shadows reference book, the one I use when I'm reading. And all I did with this one was because I've got some working notes in here. It's a moleskin that I pulled the cover off. It had a hardback cover. I pulled the cover off. But you can get softback ones, and you can get... it's even got a bookmark. See? Something like that. You could keep that with you. Put it in your pocket even. This is a little bit bigger than it needs to be. But, you know, it's an alternative. And those little field notebooks, they don't feel precious. Even the gold-edged ones don't feel precious once you get past that first page. Okay, that's it for this week. Have fun. I will see you hopefully on Saturday. I'm going to try and be here Saturday, but I have something that may be happening. But I will let you know on my Facebook page. So either, subscribe here anyway, because I'm trying to get to 10,000 for the end of the year. That means for the 3rd year in a row, I will have doubled my subscribers, which will be awesome. Yeah, we do have Fabrianos. You can get the Fabrianos in the field note size as well. They're a bit expensive though. And I don't like the paper personally. Yes, subscribe, please. Trying to get to 10,000 by New Year. If you want notifications of when the shows are, go to facebook.com/Rhomany's Realm. That's the page. You don't even need to like the page. You can just subscribe to events. Just go to events and up in the top it says subscribe. And you'll get a notification when I put an event up. And the only events I put up is when classes go live, when class sales go live, and the live shows. I don't spam you with crap. So there you go. I'm done for the day. Bye.